In the ACT Administration Manual for online testing for both standard time and accommodations, we're going to start on page 4. So on page 4, on the section is called Online Testing, we're going to talk about testing with the online format. So the online format is available to examinees testing with standard time or with eligible ACT authorized accommodations. Technical requirements. All requirements for an online administration are addressed in the ACT Technical Guide for online testing. The guide is available on your state or district testing webpage under the Configuration section. Systems for online testing. Pearson Access Next is the web application used by test staff, such as test coordinators, room supervisors, to manage online testing and start and monitor test. And then it's located at this address. TestNav is the test delivery engine used by examinees to take the test. It can be downloaded at, and there's the address there. I want to show you what that looks like. So I downloaded TestNav right here. So you see it says Pearson TestNav. And so if you click on it, and we're going to need to do this in a little while anyway, but if you click on it, it will open up. It says a starting TestNav. It may take a few seconds or so. Okay, so once it's completely opened, the students and you as well will see TestNav, the ACT, and then there's a field for username, password. Now notice at the bottom, so students can download TestNav on their home computers, and it will give them practice tests here. So we talked about that in a previous session, but this is where students would go to get the practice test. Okay, so now we're going to talk about student authorization tickets. The student authorization ticket is a printout that contains the examinee's individually assigned username and password to access the test in TestNav. The test coordinator prints the tickets found in Pearson Access Next before test day and gives them to the room supervisor the day of testing. Login security. To ensure the confidentiality of examinees, their results, and exam content, keep your staff login details confidential. Do not share them. Keep student authorization tickets secure. Do not allow examinees to look at or have access to another examinee's student authorization ticket. Do not allow examinees to remove a student authorization ticket or its content from the test room or have access to one outside of testing by any means. Collect all used and unused student authorization tickets from examinees before dismissal and return them to ACT. Seal codes. Seal codes are numeric codes examinees must enter in the TestNav at the beginning of each test to begin that particular section. Seal codes are unique to each test session and ensure standardized progress through the test by all examinees in the room. The room supervisor retrieves the seal codes in Pearson Access Next during testing. So the authorization tickets, that's going to have the student's username and password. That's where the student will go to the icon here and enter the student and enter their username and password and then sign in. And once they sign in, once the tests are unlocked, then the room supervisor will provide the students with the seal code for that particular test. All right, now let me show you this. We talked about the student authorization tickets and we talked about seal codes. So this is where the room supervisor and the test coordinator will retrieve those. So I'm go ahead, and this is a mock administration, but this is the same process you would go through on test day. So to get the authorization tickets and to get the seal codes, we're going to go to testing, and we'll practice with this in one of the future meetings. But you're going to go to testing, you're going to go to sessions, So let's go ahead and click on Sessions. And all right, so it's still turning. All right, so these are the sessions that were created for this particular mock administration. I want you to notice that this one's already in progress and this one's ready. But don't worry about the status for right now. What I want you to see is the process that I'm going to go through to get the authorization tickets and to get the seal codes. All right, so let's suppose I want to get the authorization tickets for this session right here. It says TC6 DOZI. So I'm going to click on this. I'm going to highlight the session. Then I'm going to go right here where it says select task. And again, don't get lost in this. We're going to practice with this in a few weeks. But we're going to go here, and you're going to go to show students in sessions and control sessions. So go here, then you're going to see this. All right, so you're going to see all the students listed here. We're going to click on the test session list right here. We're going to click, there's only one that I chose. I'm going to click on this. Then I'm going to go to resources right here. Notice under resources, here are the seal codes and here are the authorization tickets. So the test coordinator, remember, before test day will print the authorization tickets for the room supervisor. So you're going to click on print all for this session, and then there are the tickets. So you just cut them out as you need. So notice we have the student's name, the student LACID, the session, the date of birth, and it'll say the ACT. And then there's the username and password. That's what the student will use in that TestNav icon. Okay? So then let's talk about seal codes. So remember a while ago we saw the seal codes on the resources. So you can click on seal codes, and this is what shows up. The room supervisor does not need to print this out because all the room supervisor needs to do is tell all the students what the seal code is for English for the first test, which is English. Only do one seal code at a time. So the room supervisor would say enter in the seal code, enter 0041, and all the students would enter the same code. For test 2, you do the same thing. Enter seal code 6462. Now make sure that once you give this out, you're walking around making sure that students are entering the correct seal code. But that's where you go to get the seal code and the authorization ticket. It is not a very difficult process. All right, so now we're going to look at the overview of the online process. So online testing requires specific actions to be taken before, on, and after test day. The following table provides a high-level overview of these activities and who completes them. So let's look at the table. So notice there's the stage, and then the who, and then the activities. So there's before test day, on test day, and then there's one that says after test day. So let's go ahead and look at before test day. So before test day, the test coordinator will do these activities. Test coordinator will create user accounts in Pearson Access Next for technical coordinators and room supervisors, create test sessions and assign examinees in Pearson Access Next, print student authorization tickets in Pearson Access Next, and store them in a secure location. Prepare test sessions in Pearson Access Next the day before test day. All right, let me show you what that means where it says prepare test sessions in Pearson Access Next before test day. So if we go back to PA Next, go back to testing. So let's go to testing. We're going to click on show sessions. And right here, let's come down and click on show all results. And again, don't worry about what I'm doing right now. We're going to practice on this in a couple of weeks. But click on show all results, and then these are the test sessions that were created. Do you see where it says session status? This says ready, this says in progress, and this says not prepared. So the test coordinator is the only person that can change not prepared to ready. So the room supervisor does not have that ability. All right, so remember this part said right here, it says prepare test sessions. So we have to go and we got to make this go from not prepared to the session status of ready. So I'm going to click on that little box right here, and then I am going to go right here. See where it says select task pane. Go here. I'm going to go on show students and sessions and control sessions. And I'm going to click on the session list right here, the test session. And then you see where it says not prepared. Then right here, you'll see the word prepare session. So then the day before, you're going to have to do this. So click on prepare session, and it's still waiting. See right here it says waiting, and it says preparing. So it may take a minute or so to become ready. Okay, so after about 30 seconds to a minute, you will now see the word ready. All right, so you did that part. So that's what we mean by that last bullet right here that says prepare test sessions in Pearson Access Next the day before test day. The technical coordinator before test day will set up proctor caching if using, rerun applicable system checks the week before test day on all computers to ensure each computer meets all requirements. If proctor caching, pre-cache test content 2 days prior to the start of testing. The examinee will complete the non-test information in MyACT and in school session is recommended. All right, so let's talk about on test day. All right, so on test day, the test coordinator distributes the student authorization tickets and scratch paper to room supervisors. Test coordinator will start test sessions in Pearson Access Next and assist staff with questions and issues. The technical coordinator will assist with system issues, and this is what the room supervisor will do. So the room supervisor, before testing, will launch TestNav on all examinee computers, will ensure all examinee computers are open to the TestNav login screen, and that the ACT is indicated above the username box. And then the room supervisor will unlock test sessions in Pearson Access Next. So let's talk about what we just read. Okay, so in PA Next, the day of the test, the test coordinator will go into PA Next under testing, click on sessions, and then we're going to go here. See where it says search? We're going to go here. We're going to search all results. And then notice all the test sessions shows up. Okay, so let's suppose that I am given just one test. Then I would click on this test that I'm given. If it's all of them, you could do the top box and then all of them are checked. Okay, but just make sure on the morning of test day, you only start the sessions that are going to be testing that morning. So let's say it's this one. Let's just say it's the first one. Okay, so I'm going to highlight the first. I'm going to check the first box. Then we're going to go to the task pane right here. I'm going to select a task. Go and click on show students and sessions and control sessions. And then notice there's only one session listed, right? See it right here? And then the start session, this is what you would click. So you would click the start session, and now you see this button right here, okay? And notice right here, it now says ready, right here. Okay, for those two students right here, it says ready. All right, but the important part was this here. So you start the session, which means the next step that the room supervisor would do is to unlock the session. But don't unlock the session until the students are ready to take the test. I want to show you what's you're going to see. So if you were to go back to testing, let's say, and click on sessions, and then go here, show all results. You see the first one that we just started, it now says in progress. Right here it says in progress. Okay? All right, now let's talk about the room supervisor, the one where they had to unlock a test session. So let's talk about that. Okay, so I am now logged in as a room supervisor. The room supervisor does not have, and if you go to testing right here, the room supervisor does not have the ability to create test sessions, nor does the room supervisor have the ability to start a test session. So I'm going to go to sessions, and when I go to sessions, automatically the sessions that are created show up. All right, so let's suppose I'm a room supervisor and my test session is this first one right here. So as a room supervisor, I need to unlock those tests. So I'm going to click on the session I'm assigned to. I'm going to go to select task, show students in sessions and control sessions. And notice the I've got to click on my session right here, and then this shows up. So if I am unlocking all the students, and in this case I only have 2, all you need to do is see what this little button right here, it's now unlocked. So this is unlocked, this is locked. So I just need to shift the button, slide the button to the right, and now it's unlocked. And notice you see for those 2 students, you see ready. Okay, so those 2 tests are now unlocked. So that's how you unlock, that's how the room supervisor would unlock a test. If for some reason the room supervisor needs to lock a test for, let's say, one of the students, you just go to that drop down arrow right here and you click on lock. And now it's just locked for that student, that second student. The first student is still unlocked. Okay? Notice up here it says it's mixed. Some are locked, some are unlocked. Okay. So that's how the room supervisor goes in and unlocks the test session for the students. Okay, so now let's talk about the room supervisor during testing. So the room supervisor during testing retrieves the sealed codes in Pearson Access Next, distributes the student authorization tickets and scratch paper to examinees, monitor examinee progress in Pearson Access Next, documents irregularities in Pearson Access Next, and ensures all examinees submits their test in TestNav. After testing, the room supervisor removes students from sessions who did not test, and then lock and stop test sessions in Pearson Access Next. Now, this is what the room supervisor would do for single day testing. If it's multiple day testing and you still have some time to test students during that window, don't remove students from a session. So we'll talk about that as we go through the process. Notice where it says important. If an examinee did not log into TestNav, for example, were absent, denied admission, do not mark the test complete. Instead, remove the examinee from the test session in Pearson Access Next. So we will talk more about that as we do the mock administration. After test day, the test coordinator, if proctor caching, after all examinee tests are complete, the test coordinator will purge all test content from proctor caching computer. And then this is for the test coordinator. So the technical coordinator, the technical coordinator will need to use the purge cache test content section located in the technical guide for online testing. So this section was for the technical coordinator.